Good morning, sponsors. We're going to wait for a few minutes to have more sponsors call in, so give us about 3 minutes and then we'll get started. Good morning and happy Friday, sponsors. Welcome to the Salesforce One Mobile Ready Identifier webinar. On the call this morning, we have Jim Sinai, Senior Director, App Exchange and Platform Marketing, and myself, Laura Walensky, Manager, Partner Marketing. Today, we will be reviewing the Salesforce One Mobile Ready Identifier and what this means to you as a sponsor and how it will be incorporated into your booth on the show floor. We'll have a brief presentation followed by a Q&A. I want to also mention we will be recording this webinar and it will be posted to the ERC for those who could not attend today or for those sponsors who want to reference this deck and recording after the call. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jim.
Thanks, Laura. Good morning, everyone, and hope everyone's had a great short week. Maybe it's been like us where people come back for Labor Day with a vengeance. And with 5 weeks to Dreamforce, we are all running furiously. So why don't you head to the next slide here, Lauren. Hopefully, as most of you know in our community, Salesforce One is a big deal. We launched it last year at Dreamforce, and it's pretty much all we've been talking about to our community, our customers, our partners over the last year about the Salesforce One platform and the Salesforce One mobile app. And so to date, we've had great success and traction with our ISV community with over 200 partners that have built apps for the Salesforce One mobile app, where they've converted their app and made it Salesforce One mobile ready. And that's a big effort that we put in because we're really leaning into one of a few messages at Dreamforce, and one of them is this whole concept of, yes, you really can run your business from your phone, and whether that's extending Sales Cloud with apps like DocuSign, or branching out into other departments like account management with Gainsight, or recruiting with Job Science. Having the ability to do these tasks and do them anywhere on your phone is so important. And it's not just for mobile people, it's for people that sit in boring meetings and look at their phone, because sometimes you have to do your job from your phone in a boring meeting. But the core of this meeting and this call is we want to make sure that you're aligned to not just our technology, but our message at Dreamforce. And so can you go to the next slide? So at Dreamforce, what we're hoping to do is make sure that if you have done the work to get your app and your technology and your solutions ready for Salesforce One, that you're ready to answer this question of how are you helping customers run their business from their phones. So there's a few ways that we're hoping that you can help support this effort. The first is make sure that if you have done a Salesforce One mobile solution, that you're showing that in your demos. So often we see partners invest in something, and then when we walk into their demo booth, they're still showing the sort of same old. And at product marketing here at Salesforce, we always try and think about how do we push the needle forward just a little bit every year. And it's clear that this showing Salesforce One and showing all the new technology you've built is helpful to position you as an innovative technology partner. The second thing is if you have a listing on the App Exchange, we want to make sure that we flag that as it's Salesforce One mobile ready. We're doing a lot more curation and marketing around apps on the App Exchange that are Salesforce One mobile ready. And if you've done the work, we want to make sure that you've done the work. And so make sure you have a stash on your listing. And if you don't, please enter a case in the partner community and include some screenshots of your app. Can't say that enough. Put some screenshots in there. Show us what you've done. Help us tell your story. And then finally, what this call is really about is how do we let attendees know at Dreamforce that, hey, this is a booth, this is an exhibitor that I have the invitation to walk up to them and say, I'd love to talk to you about mobile. And so what we've done is we've created this Salesforce One mobile ready identifier. And Laura's going to take us through a little bit what that looks like and how to make sure that you requested one of these badges for your booth. So go ahead, and Laura, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, thanks, Jim. So before I go into what the mobile identifier looks like, I know that's the burning question on everyone's mind. Just wanted to give a little context. So today we will be showing the final product. Also be showing the mobile ready identifier in different variations. The first being the mobile identifier on a single bronze turnkey booth. And we'll also be showing the identifier in a multiple bronze turnkey booth row. And then finally how the mobile identifier will work in a custom booth. So with that, ta-da, here is what the mobile identifier will look like. We're showing this identifier in the single bronze turnkey booth structure. I want to point out some advantages of this design, and this will go through for a single exhibitor kiosk all the way through a custom diamond booth. So it easily attaches to the turnkey or any custom booth structure. There's no intensive labor. It's really a quick attachment. We're good on to the next. There is no additional cost to the sponsor. This is a benefit that we are providing to those sponsors who are or will be Salesforce One mobile ready. This is available to all sponsorship levels, like I said, exhibitor through diamond, if you do and are Salesforce One mobile ready. The design, we feel, complements the turnkey structure look and feel. We wanted to design something with that idea in mind, and we feel that we came up with a really successful, sleek, really cool looking design. It's also a very unique identifier that will be visible from front and cross aisles. It has that 3D component versus, a graphic that's embedded into your existing graphics or a sticker that we just place on your booth structure. And lastly, this does not impede on your booth graphics. We wanted to keep that in mind with our design. We didn't want to create something that would take available space away from you to incorporate your graphics and your messaging. So we really feel that we achieved all of those goals in coming up with the design. So the next example I'm going to show is the multiple bronze booth turnkeys. So as you can see, if you're pretending you're walking down the aisle, you'll be able to easily identify which booth is mobile ready. We have one example over here, not to call out AMC technology, we just, you're the lucky guy who's not the mobile identifier recipient. But as you can see, this booth would not, is not qualifying or did not take part in the mobile identifier as you are walking by. You will be able to see that they are not, and then their neighbors to the left and right are. So again, the 3D component really helps stand out amongst the crowd. So here's an example of a single gold custom booth. Again, our goal for all custom and EAC booths is that we will try to attach the mobile identifier to the perimeter of your booth. What we will be doing is assessing this on the show floor. We'll be coming up to your booth if you have a custom or an EAC booth and asking your opinion, where would you prefer the mobile identifier to be placed, and we will do so for you at your request. So next, I know some people want to know, how will this actually attach to my booth? What we have provided today are some real-life images of the structure, the turnkey structure, bare bones, with the mobile identifier itself. So as you can see, it easily attaches to the overhang as well as the back wall. Again, not impeding on your booth graphics, not impeding on your company logo. So also the question, how do I get this? You probably noticed we've added the mobile identifier task to the ERC a couple weeks ago. So in order to qualify for the mobile identifier, going off of what Jim mentioned earlier, you must complete these 3 specific tasks by September 30th. So please keep that in mind. We are pulling a report from the ERC to see who has completed this task, and that will be our indication for who qualifies for this mobile ready identifier on the show floor. So with that, that's the end of our presentation for the mobile identifier. I want to go over a few housekeeping items while we have the sponsors on the call, and then we will open it up for Q&A. So just want to point out, our next and final sponsor support call will be held on Thursday, September 25th at 9 a.m. We will be reviewing all on-site information, so this is a very important one to attend. If you haven't registered, we will be sending out another reminder beginning of next week with the registration information. Again, I also wanted to point out that we host weekly office hours every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So if you have any questions related to your sponsorship or anything Dreamforce specific, this is an opportunity to call in, ask anything you want. It's a very open forum. There's no real agenda. It's just time for you, the sponsor, to ask any questions. I also want to point out we have a lot of tasks and deadlines upcoming with very short turnaround time, so please be sure to check the ERC daily, if not twice a week, just to make sure you're on top of all of your tasks and deadlines. And finally, I want to point out that we have meeting room and breakout sessions still in inventory. So if you missed the boat and decided you didn't want one early, or you're ready to take on a meeting room or a breakout session to add to your overall marketing strategies, we are offering a 20% discount. This is a huge deal. So please, if you are interested, reach out to your Salesforce opportunity owner and we can get you hooked up with a meeting room or a breakout session. So with that said, we're going to go to Q&A. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat feature, and Jim and I will do our best to answer any and all questions. Yes, as I said, this will be recorded, and we will post the deck with the recording to the ERC after the call today. And yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Jim. Oh, I was going to say we had a follow-up question to that. Will we be able to get a copy of this? Yes, again, it will be provided in the ERC.
And just sort of following up on logistics, you know, we're going to do a little rationalization when the ERC tasks close versus apps that are Salesforce One mobile ready on the App Exchange and the ones that are marked in the ERC. So, you know, our goal is if you are Salesforce One mobile, we want you to have this thing, and but we, you know, the best way to make it easy is make sure you put it in the ERC. And then if for some reason you do mark in the ERC and you're not on the App Exchange listed with the SASH, we may reach out to you and just touch base and resolve any conflicts. And usually it's just administrative conflicts.
Jim, I have a question I think you will be able to answer. We want to know, how do we know if our app is Salesforce One mobile ready?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I imagine most of the people on the call are coming from the marketing side of the house or the event side of the house. The best person to answer that question is the product manager that works on the Salesforce product, the Salesforce app. A lot of times that can be solved with a quick email. Another way is you can go to appexchange.com and search for your app and see if it has that banner listed. So you already see the banner, the little SASH listed. And maybe, Laura, you can go to appexchange.com on your browser and just show them quickly what that SASH looks like. Or if you go back a few slides, there's a picture. Basically, those are the two best ways. And if you're unsure, then
this picture right here?
Yeah, you see that little SASH, that little blue SASH across the square? But you should talk to your product team, and if your product team knows, then they'll be able to tell you yes or no.
Thanks, Jim.
And I think also one other thing I'll just clarify is, like, you know, we want to know if you're not there today, but you will be in the next month as you get ready for Dreamforce. Let us know, because then we will, you know, we'll count you and plan for you to have one of these things.
Thanks. So we have another question. Do we have to order the sign, or is it provided? Yes, you do not have to order anything. You have to fill out a form. All you have to do is complete the task, and that's your quote-unquote ordering. That's letting us, our events team, know that you qualify and that we will be ordering one on your behalf. And again, no cost to the sponsor.
Isn't that great? Free stuff.
I love it. I know. It's the best. It's only everything works right.
Yeah, well, we wanted to provide you with vertical monitors so you could demo a phone in your booth, but we couldn't get that figured out in time. But you can still demo a phone either in your hand, or you can buy a dongle and quickly plug into a phone and show a phone.
Very true. So we have a question. Is there a designated side or location for the mobile-ready token? I like the token term. Yes, so we haven't decided if it's going to be on the left or the right. Most likely we'll decide that when we get to show site. So just bank on it will either be on the left or the right side of your overhang. And I also do want to point out, if it's on the left or the right, it will be consistent throughout that entire row. So it's not going to be, if it's left on one side and then right on the other side for your neighbor, that would not make sense because they would be together. So I just wanted to point that out. It'll be consistent. We just haven't decided which side. Good question. So we have a sponsor that has a gold booth and an expansion package booth. Will both booths have the identifier? No, we're going to only offer this to your main sponsorship booth.
Any other questions out there?
Let's see. Looks like this one is for you, Jim. Okay, if we've already submitted a Salesforce One collection submission, it's going to see slides or video, how do we know that it has been approved and we're in line for the Salesforce One designation on our booth?
So if you've already submitted a case, let's see. Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yeah. So it says if we have already submitted a Salesforce One collection submission, slides and video, how do we know that it has been approved and we're in line for the Salesforce One designation on our booth?
Yes. Okay. So that's a great question. So we process those at the end of the week, so those will get done at the end of today. And I think what the question is referring to is in the partner community, people log a case so that we can add the SASH to AppExchange. We still want you to complete the task in the ERC. So we want you to do two things. Make sure you have the SASH on AppExchange by adding a case, and then make sure you go into the ERC with Freeman and just fill out those check marks. If you do those two things, you're completely covered, and and if for some reason you're not, let us know. We'll make it right. But those two things should take care of everything on your end.
Perfect. Okay, we have another question. When will the request form be in the ERC? I don't see it currently. So there's no real form, so I'm going to show you an example. So right here, if you log into the ERC, you will have a task that says Submit Mobile Ready Task, and it will have a deadline of 9:30. So once you click on this Submit Mobile Ready Task, it will take you into this screen where you will be able to answer yes or no to the 3 questions that we have in the Submit Mobile Ready Task. So it's in there. And if you are having trouble locating it, reach out to your GPJ Partner Relations Manager, and they'll be able to assist you. Great question. If we are already mobile ready, do we need to answer not available or yes? Or is this only for ISVs? We are an SI that helps clients with Salesforce.
So currently this is for ISVs, but so currently it's for ISVs right now. If that changes, we'll come back and let everyone know. But really, this is for people that have built apps on the AppExchange.
Let's see, is Salesforce One ready the same as SF1 mobile ready?
Correct.
So if we will be ready for Salesforce One by Dreamforce, can we order one now even if it's not on the AppExchange yet?
Yes. The whole intention is that we're trying to forecast how many of these things we have to buy. So if you're going to be ready, let's make sure that you tell us so that we know, and then we can make sure that by Dreamforce you're good to go.
Yeah, and just to follow up from Jim, that is why we have the number 2 question in the task. If you're not Salesforce One ready now, will your app project be Salesforce One mobile ready by Dreamforce? So that's what that question is for. If we wanted an additional one, does it cost? We haven't thought about partners wanting to purchase additional ones, so let us circle back and we will send an email blast letting sponsors know if there is an opportunity to purchase additional mobile identifiers. Again, a lot of questions about wanting an additional mobile identifier for their expansion booth. We didn't plan for that, but we will talk internally and let you know the outcome.
Correct. We got to make sure we can cover everyone first, and then we'll go back.
So we have a question. What happens if the app is not currently live because it is in the queue, but we will be...
If you made the deadline for security review before the pre-Dreamforce deadline, then go ahead and submit the task in the ERC, because we have visibility into those apps.
Of course, I will. I'm going to go back to the exhibitor booth so you can take a screenshot. There you go. We'll leave it on that slide for any of those attendees who want to take a screenshot. And again, this will be posted in the ERC, so you will have access to this. Okay, it looks like we don't have any more questions. I want to thank, Jim, I want to thank you for joining and giving us a great overview on why this is important and what the focus is. And thank you, sponsors, for joining and hearing what great things we're doing for you for Mobile Ready. And Jim, if you have anything else to add.
No, at this time I do not, but I'm excited to see everyone's app, and we love this partnership, and we love how innovative everyone has been with this technology. So can't wait to see it on the show floor.
Awesome. All right. We did have one more question come in after that, so I will answer it, and then we will hop off. So if we have an app which did not meet the deadline, can I submit next week? Will it make it in time?
I can't comment on will it make it in time to the security review. That's not something that I control. But let's make sure that just go ahead and request the identifier, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, again, thank you, sponsors. Thank you, Jim, and everyone have a wonderful rest of the day and a great weekend.